Why, hello world. It's the film optimist. Today I'm talking about uh every Walt Disney Animation Studios film ranked. Every Disney film ranked. If I just said every Disney film, people would be like, "What about the live action ones? And what about the remakes? What about the Disney tunes and stuff?" So, disclaimer: yeah, no Disney tune, no Pixar. No, that's gonna be a separate list. Pixar is its own company. It's owned by Disney. But I separate them. I differentiate them. You know, there's some crossover sometimes, every once in a while. Um, but we were talking specifically about Walt Disney. So a Goofy movie is not in here. I'm sorry. I will do a Disney tune ranking as well, but we'll get to that at another time. This could take a while. I'm not going to go super in depth. I might at times go on tangents. Offer up reasons, my reasonings why a certain film is so low or so high, or a lot of people might be shocked at what my last film is. There have been in total 62 of these films. Is that right? 62? Because Encanto was 60, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Wasn't it? Yeah, I think it was, actually. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10? Wait. Oh, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, yeah. That's crazy. 62 at time of recording. I am recording this um, before Moana 2 comes out in November. So this is like coming out like, what, a month later? Uh, yeah. By that time, I will have seen it, and I will inevitably do a follow up video. It'll probably be in January, possibly, if I'm guessing. Anyway. Let's go back to wherever the fuck my list is. Yes, let's talk about this. We've wasted 2 minutes of everyone's time. You guys all comfortable? Number 62 is the Three Caballeros. Oh my god. What? Why? Why is this so low, you may be asking? And it will come up on the list later on, obviously. Spoiler alert. Saludos Amigos was a film made by Disney. It's the fourth, I believe, ever made Disney film. One, two, three, four, five, sixth film ever made. It's the first package film. Fantasia is kind of a package film as well, but specifically made to be that. So this is like the second package film. This is when people were going off to war, but this was also made to be a love letter to Latin America. It's very beautiful. Kind of blowing my load here positively. The Three Caballeros came out 2 years later, and it followed that. We want to continue to give love to Mexico and Brazil and to these Latin American countries, Latin countries, and just we want to give love to that culture, and where Saludos Amigos, succeeded tremendously for me. I thought it was very beautiful. I have a little Hispanic in my heritage, little Hispanic heritage, HH. The Three Caballeros was a lust letter to Latin America. Donald Duck is a character in both of these. Saludos Amigos has a couple, here and there segments where he meets Jose Carioca, the cigar smoking parrot from Brazil, who's just a fucking chill dude. He is so awesome. And the Three Caballeros in question are Donald Duck, America, Jose Carioca, Brazil, and the debuting Panchito Pistoles from Mexico. He's a gun-toting rooster. He's got these fucking pistols. He's just so dope. Got him right here. He just shoots him off. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. He has fun, right? And you might think that's racist a little bit. They didn't ban them for being racist caricatures. Carioca, Jose Carioca caricature. They didn't ban them for that. It's because of the guns and the cigars, which just fucking take those away. Just let them be Panchito. Pistoles could be just a fun word to say, fun name to say. Jose Carioca is just chill. I don't. He's just chilling, right? This is a chill dude. Donald Duck, he's just a fucking asshole. Both films, he is so. He's very representative of America. I'll say that. He's very intolerant, very annoying, boisterous, loud. Like, shut the fuck up. And the Three Caballeros, it's about halfway through the film. They go overhead in a plane, the Three Caballeros in question, and they're just in the plane, and they look down at these sandy beaches and these gorgeous, gorgeous Mexican women. Now I know Mexican women they're amazing. All right, they're amazing, right? They're otherworldly. I get it. Okay, have some self respect and some self control. Donald Duck goes and just fucking starts flipping out like he hard eyes, fucking boner, just trying to get at them, trying to, and they're just like, whoa, slow down, Donald. Hey, like, calm down. Hey, my friend. Hey, calm down. And they're just like having the rest of the film is Donald Duck trying to get some pussy. And my takeaway from this film is that Daisy really helped him out, right? He is an angry, boisterous, annoying boy that we all love. But this film showed a side of Donald that none of us want to see without going on Rule 34. We just we don't we don't want to see this in a kids movie. You do not need Mexican Pinocha this bad, bro. It's not that deep. Like, that is crazy. Like, that's crazy. I know that I said Mexican women are amazing. Women in general are amazing. Represent feminism. We all love it. Come on. Women, we love them. But, like, bro, chill out. So that's what makes it a very terrible experience for me. The Three Caballeros. That's the main reason it's so low. And some people might go, dude, how? The hand drawn animation is amazing. The music is so beautiful. All valid, right? This is my list, and I am so sorry. I am so sorry that Donald Duck ruined this for you. But can you be? Let's be serious here. Are we surprised? Come on now, it's Donald Duck. Number 61 is Dinosaur. Man, I am just shitting on people's childhoods right now. And oh my god, I am losing it. This came out in 2000. May 19th, 2000. It's a new era. Y2K is on the horizon. The future is here, boys. Dinosaur came out, and I remember the McDonald's toy, the very hard plastic puppet that you put your hand puppet. Hard for no reason. I always disliked the look of Dinosaur. I never thought it looked appealing. I oftentimes forgot it was an actual Disney movie. This is Disney's first 3D animated film, and being such, it is insanely dated. VFX artists React talk about how they got some of the shots, and it's very, very interesting. I highly suggest you give that a watch. But it's still ugly as fuck. And I get shit on for this a lot, this takeaway, but it's just the Land Before Time. It's a group of dinosaurs. You know, they're trying to survive whatever the fuck cataclysmic event and go to this one area where everything's fine. There's an evil dinosaur that is from within the group. That's not really so much, shot for shot. It's like Disney's The Land Before Time, and you can't make The Land Before Time better when the first one exists. Like, it's everyone's right. Everyone's pissed off in the comments that loves Dinosaur. And I just didn't like Disney at this time. In 2000, I was only 8 years old. I was 7 going on 8 here. I had a phase where I was like, oh, Disney movies were babies. I'm not a baby. Whatever. But Dinosaur is probably like the babiest movie ever made. Number 60 is Home on the Range. Oh boy. Home on the Range. The movie that killed 2D animation for Disney. Um, Only for a little bit, right? There was one, two, three movies that came out afterwards, and then they tried again, and that movie did pretty well. That we'll talk about later on. But Home on the Range came at a very weird time. There was another renaissance of films. The Disney Renaissance ended with Tarzan, I would say. Dinosaur is a very weird movie. And then we have a couple more big hitters here. Fantasia 2000 is, it is what it is. The Emperor's New Groove, Atlantis, The Lost Empire, Lilo and Stitch, Treasure Planet, Brother Bear, all of those were so good, so unique, so beautiful. And then they hit with Home on the Range, April 2nd, 2004. A day after April Fool's Day came one of Disney's most absurd films. It's an original story about a cow, and it's named after the popular cowboy song with the old name. The ranch owner, Mr. Dixon, sells the remaining cow, Maggie, to Pearl, a kind aging woman who runs a small farm called Patch of Heaven. Yeah, so I forgot about this, but Alameda Slim steals most of Dixon Ranch's cattle. The ranch owner, he sells the remaining cow, Maggie, like, I can't take care of you, girl. It's a very beautiful opening. Sorry, girl. Gives her to Patch of Heaven, and immediately the film is like, let's go, boys, we're in this. Patch of Heaven has to be sold off. Can't keep up with it. And Maggie, who just got there, hasn't said really a word to anybody, goes, I'll help save the farm. And they're all like, who the fuck are you? Legitimately, who are you to want to try to help? Like, we don't know you. And then she gets with what's the other ones? What's the other cows here? Jennifer Tilly. Oh, Judi Dench too. Dame Judi Dench is Mrs. Calloway. She's a Holstein cow, the leader of the animals on the farm, and the only cow with a British accent. Jennifer Tilly is Grace, an optimistic and innocent-minded cow. I will say this: those three cows, the best part of the film, right? And you're following, from the beginning. Surely it should be a great time. Cuba Gooding Jr. as Buck ruins this film. A lot of just mediocre music. It feels like the film has no direction, really. Like it's just meandering through everything. I remember my sister-in-law saying this is the worst Disney movie she's ever seen, and I can see why. It is god awful. It's a god awful time. I'm glad that I found some enjoyment, that it bumped up, above those other two films. It's not that well. Number 59 is Fantasia. Fantasia is the third film ever released by Disney. I respect the hell out of it. I think using classical music is genius. Like Walt really wanted to showcase classical music with, and blending animation with it, and that's awesome. That's great. This movie has an intermission. This movie is so long that it has an intermission. And this was a time where end credits weren't a thing. The credits were at the beginning to show you all the people's names of the, this is who worked on this. Gave everybody their flowers immediately. And then after the film is done, there's no credits. It's just the end, and that's it. Let's all rise. Let's get out of here. Because of that, films felt a lot longer back then. Fantasia was legitimately like 2 hours long. It was, let me fact check this real quick. Fantasia at a runtime of 2 hours and 6 minutes. This was the longest Disney film until Zootopia. Watch this film again. Start to fall asleep, start to doze off. Watch Zootopia and be like, oh my god, that does not feel like 2 hours. That feels like a snack compared to the 4-course meal plus 27 desserts that Fantasia gives you. It's too much. It's way too much. Yes. Following after that one, Number 58 is Fantasia 2000. Um, it loses some points with me because it reuses the Sorcerer's Apprentice. So Walt wanted to continue to make Fantasia like a yearly thing, and they were like, Walt, you're gonna lose money on this if you continue to do that. Nevertheless, he was going to try until he was like, oh yeah, no, and it would have new segments as well, and some returning. He, but nobody's going to continue to see Fantasia Part Two or like the new version. Like, no, we're not doing this shit. I don't think it was like a yearly thing. It might have been like every 5 years. I don't remember what the actual number, but it's a dumb fucking idea. I'm glad they didn't do it. But Fantasia 2000, I understand why they revisited it. I do like that it's more compact. You get through things. There's a Noah's Ark cartoon where Donald and Daisy Duck or not Moses, Noah and his wife, whatever her name is. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Number 57 is The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. We're about to go through all of like the package films pretty quick. I think this was the last package film, and it has 2 separate cartoons instead of like the 3 or 4 or 5 that the other package films have. And because you just have these 2, you would think, okay, you're gonna get a lot more mileage out of this one. The Adventures of Ichabod. Ichabod is Sleepy Hollow. Disney did a Sleepy Hollow thing, the Headless Horseman, a terrifying tale, and they made it goofy. They were like, this is pretty funny. It's pretty silly. And Mr. Toad is kind of fucking annoying. I don't know. It's a film that exists. Of course, hand-drawn animation is the way to go. Represent. I love it. But like, it's just a film that sort of exists for me. Speaking of films that sort of just exist for me, number 56 is The Black Cauldron. I think this one could do with a remake. Honestly, like we talk about movies, like they're remaking everything. Remake The Black Cauldron. Make a series. The Chronicles of Prydain, or Prydain, however you pronounce that shit. Disney Plus series. Go for it. Why not? Right? Like, give it its due. It has a lot of great ideas. I don't think the execution was poor. I just think like it just sort of exists. There are some like really great elements in it. I don't hate this film. It just sort of exists. 55 is more personal for me. It's The Sword and the Stone, and I know a lot of people are probably shocked about this one. Why is the Sword and the Stone is 55, bro? 50, that low? There are 3 voice actors for Arthur. There are three voice actors. Granted, 2 of them the voices are twins, so that doesn't affect it too much. But that's still one. So Sword in the Stone starts out, and we'll talk more about this with the review. It starts out with him, gee willikers, like he's just like a nerdy, whiny kid, and his name is Wart. They're calling him Wart. And then about halfway through, he meets Merlin, and as soon as he meets Merlin, his voice changes. Gee willik, boy howdy, mister. Like, that was not your voice before. You were a preteen, and now you're a little boy. I do prefer the little boy, golly gee, mister, than the fucking whatever they were doing in the first part. But then the film ends, and he has that voice back, which leads me to believe, this is a theory, this is a little fan theory, all that shit with Merlin did not happen. All that shit in the middle did not happen. That's how Arthur envisions himself. After he wins, he draws the sword from the stone, he becomes the king. It ends with him being chased off by his brother-in-law, stepbrother, who's chasing him off again. Like, that's the king of, he can chop your fucking head off, bro. And you're chasing him through the woods like you used to when he was a little bitch boy. It's not cool. It would make sense to me then that the middle part didn't exist. They are remaking this one, and I do think that it deserves it. There are some great things with the King Arthur legend. Number 54 is Make Mine Music. Make Mine Music was the first package film after The Three Caballeros came out April 20th, 1946. Again, everybody was off at war. During World War II, much of Walt Disney's staff was drafted into the Army, and those that remained were called upon by the U.S. government to make training and propaganda films. As a result, the studio was littered with unfinished story ideas. In order to keep the feature film division alive during this difficult time, the studio released 6 package films, including this one, made up of various unrelated segments set to music. Saludos Amigos and The Three Caballeros do count as package films. Fantasia does not. Fantasia was very much its own thing. So, yes, I was right. Saludos Amigos. This one, Make Mine Music, I think it's not on Disney Plus. I think this is the one that's not on Disney. No, it's actually the other one. It might be Melody Time. Whatever. The Martins and the Coys, they sing about, it's like the Hatfields and McCoys, basically. They fall in love. Yeah, it's whatever. Blue Bayou. It's two egrets flying through the Everglades on a moonlit night. All the cats join in. Without You, Casey at the Bat, Two Silhouettes, Peter and the Wolf, After You've Gone, Johnny Fedora and Alice Bluebonnet, and then The Whale Who Wanted to Sing at the Met is the grand finale, and it's such a bittersweet story. It's very sad, and I think that's why I put that film lower than the other package films, because oh my god, well, that's really depressing. We'll talk more about that whenever I review it, but let's Make Mine Music. Then Melody Time, the one that comes after that one. Melody Time, this is the one I think that's not on Disney Plus, I think. I could be wrong. I could be very, very wrong. Might be Make Mine Music, actually. Once Upon a Winter Time, Bumble Boogie, The Legend of Johnny Appleseed, Little Toot, Trees, Blame It on the Samba, Pico's Bill. I don't know, man. Less memorable than Make Mine Music. It's fine, you know. It's pretty. I had fun with it. Then Fun and Fancy Free. This one came before those two, didn't it? No, Fun and Fancy Free was sandwiched in between those two. It only has 2 cartoons. It has Bongo, loosely based on the short story Little Bear Bongo, and then Mickey and the Beanstalk. And it uses live action segments starring Edgar Bergen to join its 2 stories. It's like a puppet thing. It's very creepy. But Mickey and the Beanstalk is like OG, and they would release that separately as its own short film. I think that's what really carried this for me to be higher up. I was like, oh, I remember that one. That's such a great adaptation of, you know, the fuck is the movie called? The Jack and the Beanstalk. Number 51 is The Great Mouse Detective. So now we're going up to like the 80s. We're just taking a huge leap into the 80s, into the future. 86 specifically. 2 films later, we would have the Disney Renaissance in full effect. But The Great Mouse Detective is a very weird one, very interesting one. It's Basil of Baker Street is what it's based on, which is in turn based on Sherlock Holmes. It's about a mouse named Basil of Baker Street who lives underneath. He lives under the floorboards of Sherlock Holmes. So he takes on he is Sherlock Holmes. He's the great mouse detective Basil of Baker Street, who's basically Sherlock Holmes. He has this little chubby Watson with him as well, following along. It's fine. Oh yeah, fucking who else is in this movie? Oh my god. Oh, like why can't I remember his name? My head hurts. Oh, it's a V, isn't it? It's a V, isn't it? Vincent Price. Yes. Oh my god. He voices Ratigan. He's pretty cool. It's just a very interesting film that I did have fun with. I did, you know, I'm a furry. All right, I'm gonna say that right now, for those that don't know, for whatever reason. And in this film is the most egregious example of furries in Disney until Zootopia happened, and then everyone, like, the furry fandom hijacked that shit. Um, this had a little mouse shaking her ass on stage, and I was like, I had to like pause the film, like I can't have people walking in right now, like as I watch this film. I got like embarrassed, like I got one of those like you know what I mean. So that's the Great Mouse Detective. We're at 50. We're at number 50. The Rescuers Down Under. Oh my god. The Rescuers came out in what, the 70s? 77. The Rescuers Down Under came out, whoa, 23 years later? Is that right? Did I do the math right? Wait, no, 13. That makes more sense. Yes. 13 years later, they made The Rescuers Down Under, returning voice actors and everything. And it is a sweet sequel. I used to love it so much because the little boy that the rescuers rescue in this one is named Cody. That's my middle name. I was Cody for most of my life. So of course I loved this film growing up, and then when I rewatched it, I got so annoyed with the whole love triangle bullshit. Just the whole quarreling couple. It was annoying. It's really dumb. That's the Rescuers Down There, and that's why it's so low. 49 is gonna probably hurt a lot of people. Treasure Planet. Calm down. Stop yelling at me. Treasure Planet is, I want to say it is an amazing film. It is beautifully animated. It's so beautiful. It's so great. It's so awesome. I fell asleep the first time I watched it with my wife, and I had to go back and rewatch it, the rest of it, and that kind of soured it a little bit for me. It's not the fault of the film at all, and there are other films that like just top it for me. God, it does not. Oh man, I'm looking at this list. I knew this was gonna happen too. I was gonna look at this list and go, "Oh no, people are gonna be mad at me." Number 48 is Chicken Little. Chicken Little. People that grew up around this time period grew up with those films. I legitimately, so I'll do like this thing called the Disney game where I go down the list of video games. I go down the list of films. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs to Pinocchio. Which one do you like better? And you tell me which one you like better. Usually, people my age, it'll come around Lion King or Aladdin or Lion King. They're like, "Oh, that's so hard, dude!" Like, and they have to sit for a minute and think about it. I talked to this kid, like 10 years younger than me. Lion King, Aladdin. He was like, "Dude, that's pretty great. That's pretty hard." And we kept going, and then I got to Chicken Little or Meet the Robinsons. He was like, "Dude, you can't do this to me." I was like, what do you mean? Chicken Little or Meet the Rob? What? Anyway, Chicken Little's fine. It's the first ever. It's their second ever 3D movie, but this is like there's like 3D films that are so weird. I feel like they improve upon each other with each one. Chicken Little is fine. It's just such a weird movie. I feel so bad putting it over Treasure Planet. Yeah, so Chicken Little. And then number 47 is Ralph Breaks the Internet. I was so pumped for a Wreck-It Ralph 2. Like it felt inevitable that they'd make a sequel. And they don't usually do sequels right here. Like we just talked about The Rescuers Down Under. That was rare. That's a rarity. I think that's the first ever Disney sequel. And then we don't get that for a long time. We get a lot of like original content. And back in 2012, November 2nd, 2012, Wreck-It Ralph blessed us big time. So imagine my surprise. 2018, 6 years later, November 21st, a little over 6 years, we get Ralph Breaks the Internet. Why is it not called Ralph Wrecks the Internet? And why is this Disney's The Emoji Movie? I don't understand it. I don't. And what got me hyped was that they are going into the actual World Wide Web. They're going into the internet. They're going in there and they're going to make. They're going to break the internet. And they go to ohmydisney.com, and Disney owns Marvel and Star Wars and all. So you see all these properties, you see all this crazy stuff. It's honestly the best part of the film. It's so great. I don't like the whole father daughter thing with Ralph and Vanellope, and they're like kind of like separated. I love the Disney princess thing so much. Check out my Disney princess ranking and my update. Oops, accidental update. I forgot one. It's a it's truly a time. It's truly a fun time to be had. But there's a lot of it that just doesn't sit well with me. It's like, oh, this is just a foregone sequel. Like, there's a lot that's just like, oh, it's not that good. A lot of dated, and the message in the film about the internet. There's YouTube exists. I think there's a YouTube logo, but they use BuzzTube as their main like source of entertainment, and they want to buy this thing on eBay for Sugar Rush, and rather than caring about Sugar Rush, Vanellope just doesn't care, and then Ralph, they got to get it off of eBay, which a lot of people don't even use eBay anymore. I don't think that's like a big thing. Like they just go to Amazon and buy it. But they're trying to bid on eBay, and they bid and they buy it, but then they don't know how it works. And they're like, oh, we actually owe this money now, so now we got to get the money. So they make viral videos, like goat scream videos, and never gonna give you up, and like Rickroll, and the more likes that you get, the more money you get, and he raises the money in like no time flat. So it's kind of alarming how like kids are watching this film and going, I can be a YouTube now. I really want to be a YouTube star because I can make money. Like, calm down. That's not how that works. You, you no. Terrible message to teach people. Number 46 is Frozen. I'm surprised that this isn't even lower. I'm surprised Ralph Breaks the Internet's lower than Frozen. Not really. Frozen has a lot of great ideas. When Frozen came out, I'm so stupid. Why did I think Frozen wasn't going to be a musical? Came out in 2013, a year after Wreck-It Ralph. I was firmly back in the Disney seat at this point. I did not see Tangled. I did see Winnie the Pooh in 2011. So actually, yeah, now I'm firmly back, and I'm like, we're gonna go see every Disney movie every year. Like, this is locked in, right? And Frozen, I saw with my mom and my younger brother, loosely inspired by The Snow Queen by Hans Christian Andersen. I love the redefining of true love. I love the music. I think the music is pretty spectacular. I think they hit the nail on the head. Let It Go is not bad. It's just overplayed. There's so much. Like, I want to love it so bad. I love the twist villain. I love that twist. It's like, it's overdone to death now, but at that time I was like blown away. And then I rewatch it, and it looks so fucking bad. It looks so dated. It looks older than Tangled. Tangled still looks beautiful. It looks brand new. Frozen looks absolutely dated. It's not animated very well. That's Frozen. And I wish that it was higher. Speaking of, number 45 is Wish. It's pretty funny how that worked out. Wish is the latest film. It came out last year, 2023, on our Lord and Savior Walt Disney's 100th birthday. And if you want to celebrate the 100th birthday right, the way to do it is to watch Once Upon a Studio and not Wish. Wish is not that good. It's very mediocre. I was expecting a dumpster fire because everybody was labeling it as so, as such, as so and such and so. They were saying that it was just so terrible. It got accusations of AI generated music. Like, it was bad. And I watched it and I thought, It's not that bad, but it's really not good at all either. There are like two songs in the film that really I'm like, yes. A lot of the other songs are just like there, kind of passable. The villain song is atrocious. The "I'm a Star" with the animals song is pretty atrocious. A lot of Disney references that feel very like they're reaching. I have a theory. I will discuss it here right now, real quick. That I feel makes the film a little bit more palatable. Hear me out for a second. King Magnifico is, if you haven't seen the film, there's the Kingdom of Rojas. What is it called again? I think it's Rojas. The Kingdom of Rosas. The wizard King Magnifico, he takes your wishes from you, and like what does he do? Is it every year? Uh-huh. Once a month, he gives a wish. He grants someone's wish, and it's her grandfather Sabino's 100th birthday. She's hoping that they give the wish. And a lot of people criticize Asha, the main girl, for like wanting to free the wishes, but hear me out. King Magnifico has all these wishes, and he says not every wish can be granted, not every wish can be out there because some wishes are they could be bad for the kingdom and for everything else. I feel like King Magnifico represents Walt Disney. Walt Disney and Rosas is supposed to look like Walt Disney World a little bit. Like they had like the whole castle drawn out and everything, like kind of similarly shaped. King Magnifico starts out as kind of an annoying king, but the people are inspired by him. Much like when Walt Disney first started out, they were inspired by him showing all these beautiful films. But all these films, most of them early on and continuing on later on, are adaptations of other people's works, other people's wishes that he's collecting for himself and then distribute. And then like he's like interpreting them in his own way. How could this spin? How could this benefit anybody? Let's do away with this one. So him granting wishes is like Walt Disney's artistic, just artist. It just left my mind. It's his artistic vision, right? And his vision for Rosas is very particular, very specific. And when Asha defies that, he gets mad. He gets very defensive. And suddenly we start to find out that Magnifico is not a good person. He's actually kind of a piece of shit, kind of prejudiced, much like the real Walt Disney, right? And suddenly the people start to fight back. They all start turning against him because they want to make this wish for something more than this, And that's what modern Disney is. Modern Disney wants to showcase more, unless if you're gay. And we're still trying to work on that. We're still moving forward and trying to change shit. But that's what I got out of Wish, and it makes it a little bit more palatable. Anyway, number 44 is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The first ever Disney film ever made. Walt was pissed that this was not up for Best Picture. He threw such a fit about it that they were like, we're going to make a Best Animated Feature award. Which is, yes, please. But it is such a great, the triumph. It redefined everything. This is the 30s, right? This is 36. The first ever film. This is 30. It was founded in 33. The first ever film is 37. Guys, that is insane. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's a beautiful film. I love it from top to bottom. I love what's her name? Adriana Castellati. Please tell me I said her name right. Please tell me I said her name right. Adriana Castellati. She is uncredited because at the time Walt Disney wanted wanted them to be real. These are not characters. Snow White, the Queen, all the Seven Dwarfs, they exist. So Adriana Castellotti didn't get a lot of work after this. He was like they contractually obligated to not get any other work because they don't want her very recognizable voice in anything else. Snow and the Seven Dwarfs is a beautiful, like I said, triumph. It revolutionized animated films. That's the first ever animated film, you guys, feature length film in theaters, viewed by people. People paid money for that, and you can't take that's a beautiful first film in a company. Number 43 is Saludos Amigos. I already talked about Saludos Amigos, a beautiful love letter to Latin America. Let's move on. Number 42 is Bambi. Bambi, the first half of Bambi is the most adorable Disney film I've ever seen. It is so cute. And then one of the most iconic, depressingly iconic moments in movie history happens. Bambi's mom is shot by a hunter, only known as Man. Man is into the woods, shoots Bambi's mom. This is one of the biggest pieces of trivia. I might repeat myself when I talk about Bambi, or have I even talked about Bambi? I don't even know. Walt was showing the film in front of a test audience, and when that moment happens, Bambi calls out, "Mother, Mother, where are you?" And snot-nosed piece of shit kid, teenage kid in the audience stands up and goes, "Here I am, Bambi," and everyone erupts into laughter. And Walt is sitting in the back with two of his execs next to him, and he's fucking furious. And they see that he's furious, and they're like, "Maybe we should take this out." He goes, "No, this is a very important scene. It needs to be in there. It teaches a harsh life lesson. Some of us lose our parents and just the people we love early on in our life, and it needs to speak to people that way." And he kept it in, and the rest is history. That's a very iconic film. Now, the second half is very odd. Very odd. Still beautifully animated, but not nearly as adorable. And there's a reason for that. His fucking mom got killed. There's no more adorableness. You know, this is life. That's how life works. We think becoming an adult is going to be better, except we look back when we were a kid and we're like, man, things were so great back then. Our parents were right, you guys. That's insane. And that's what Bambi is great at teaching, that you don't really pick up the first time around. And then Bambi has a baby, and things are adorable again. Babies make your life like really well and awesome. If you're a parent, you can relate. I got 3 little babies, and although they're annoying as shit, they're also really awesome. And you know, they help make life brighter and better and more beautiful, more adorable. Number 41 is Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland, some people might think this is too low. Again, I think it's the credits situation. Also, there was an Alice in Wonderland film, a made-for-TV Alice in Wonderland. I can't remember. Alice in Wonderland. Oh, Alice. Is it from the 80s? It's not 51. It's not 1999. Is it 85? Is it the two-parter? It's the two-parter. Alice in Wonderland is a 1985 American two-part made-for-television musical film with the books Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. I did not know it was a two-parter. I just thought they were just separate. It's a damn good movie. If you haven't seen it, it's really awesome. Natalie Gregory is Alice. Sheila. This is a crazy cast here. I think I did review Alice in Wonderland already and already talked about this. Anyway, go check that out. I think that's what made me go like, the animated version's fine. It's okay. You know, I get it. But it's fine. Number 40 is Peter Pan. Peter Pan is way too high for having racist caricatures of Native Americans. Now, some of you might go, "Who cares? It was a different time. Who cares? Who cares?" What makes the Red Man Red is possibly the worst Disney song ever made because of its racist ass overtones. We Are Siamese is nothing compared to what makes the Red Man Red. Holy shit. What a fucking horrible song. How? Oh my god. What were they thinking? Other than that, Peter Pan made me emotional. You're watching the film. The play. The father is often played. The father and Captain Hook are often played by one person, one man, and they followed that for the film. And near the end, they show a pirate ship. Pirate ship Cloud. It's not really a pirate. It's not really the pirate ship, but it's flying off in the distance, and they're like kind of chewing out the kids for like still talking about this whole like you need to grow up, you know, whatever. And then the father sees the pirate ship and he goes, "Why, that pirate ship looks familiar. I think I saw it when I was a little boy." And I went, "Oh no!" Like it got me in the end. But most of the film is pretty fucking boring until then, you know. It's like, oh, this is kind of cool, you know. This is all right. I grew up with Hook more than Peter Pan. I'm starting to find a pattern here. I'm starting to sense a pattern of like, oh, I like this adaptation more than the Disney adaptation. There's no red men in Hook. Just child death. 39 is 101 Dalmatians. It's a damn good film. I mean, what else can you say about it? Cruella de Vil is crazy as fuck. Wants to chop up puppies, skin puppies, to make a polka dotted coat, a Dalmatian coat. Number 38 is The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. I love Winnie the Pooh so much. But there are only 2 Pooh movies that are under Walt Disney Animation Studios umbrella. Then they have their own like line. Like, you know, they try to say like Frozen's its own line. It's not. You know, it's not its own franchise. It's not its own. I don't know what they're doing. They didn't want to put them in the princess lineup because they were too big for. Who the fuck are you, Elsa and Anna? Better sit your asses down. They try to do that with Pooh is like an actual franchise. It's actual spin-offs, its own movies done by Disney Toon, which we will talk about. I'm so itchy. I'm sorry, guys. I'm touching my face a lot. The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, like Peter Pan, was pretty boring, honestly. Sterling Holloway's great, but I love Jim Cummings. I'm watching this film and I'm just like, yeah, I get it. It's Pooh Bear. It's cute. Then we get to the end, and again, like with Peter Pan, this one actually made me cry, like just bawl. And so we reach the last page, you know, the end of our story or whatever, and it shows Pooh Bear eating honey, and then he looks up and goes, "Oh no!" It's like, I don't want it to end. Can't we go back to the first page and start all over again? He's like, "I'm sorry, Pooh." It's like, oh bother, you know, and it keeps going. And then we cut to Christopher Robin and Pooh Bear walking along in the woods, the 100-acre wood, and he talks about how he has to go off to school soon. And Pooh Bear's like, "What school?" You know, just shooting the shit, you know, just chilling, vibing. And Christopher Robin's like, "One day I'm gonna be an adult, you know." It's like, and Pooh, promise not to forget me. "Oh, I won't, Christopher. I promise." I was like, oh no! It still gives me chills. It gets me super emotional. Christopher Robin. There's Pooh's Grand Adventure: The Search for Christopher Robin. Redoes it and got me emotional again. And then Christopher Robin did it. Didn't get me emotional, even though the rest of the film had me crying, like just sobbing profusely. It's amazing. That's what propels it so high on this list. Number 37 is Pocahontas. I didn't learn a lot about Pocahontas growing up. You know, interestingly enough, the American education system doesn't want to talk about the atrocities committed in the history, you know, in the history books. They don't want to talk about their ugly past, our ugly past, right? So they made Pocahontas a superhero. They said Native Americans can talk to trees and do all this. And it's like, that's cool. Can we talk about what actually happened to Why is Pocahontas so old? Why is she in love with John Smith? What? Like, it's weird. Like, you didn't get the source material accurate. It wouldn't be that bad if it wasn't real life. This is a real life thing. It is a beautifully animated film. The music's great. Um, I just can't believe that. Who? What is that dumbass's name that worked on this? Absolute fucking dumb fuck who went on to go to DreamWorks. He had like two, maybe three good ideas. I'll say two. Um, where's he at? Where's this dumbass at? Film was directed by Mike Gabriel, John Pentecost. There's trivia in here where this guy said that this movie would be so much better than the dumbass Lion movie that they're making, and they made Lion King, and Lion King smashed it. And this film did not. It was okay. It did pretty good actually. 55 million. It did 346 million. That's probably re-releases as well. Still, that's pretty crazy. What's that fucking dumbass's name? What is his name? Jeffrey Katzenberg. I think it's Jeffrey Katzenberg is the guy that said that. He worked here. Maybe I just wanted to talk shit on Katzenberg. Actually, I can't find where it was said. Somebody said that the people that were fucking up on Pocahontas, that they didn't think they were doing a pretty good job with animation. They were sent to The Lion King as punishment, and Lion King fucking killed it. Um, if you know me, you probably already know what my favorite is. By the way, the foregone conclusion. 36 is the Aristocats. Everybody wants to be a cat. This is a beautiful film. I love it so much. I hadn't seen it since I was a kid, and I watched it with my wife, rewatched it, and I was like, this is a great film. This is awesome. My cat, who's not in here, you may have seen him in some of the videos. His name's Ollie. Ollie is short for Oliver. His full name is Oliver Simba O'Malley. He gets all three of his names from Disney movies. Oliver and Company, Lion King for Simba, and then O'Malley for Thomas O'Malley, the alley cat from the Aristocats. Thomas O'Malley, such a G. I love that dude. Number 35 is The Jungle Book. Classic. And I don't know what else you're expecting me to say here. It's great music, great animation, just great everything. Fucking love The Jungle Book. Number 34 is Dumbo. Dumbo is pretty fucking high on this list. I think it made me and my wife emotional because the animal abuse scene. Like, we did not expect it to hit us that much. The Baby Mine song, of course, really travels. I'm going to be ranking every Disney song, too, from all of these movies that I'm listing right now. Every song that has lyrics, or every song that is... Like, with Fantasia, I'm going to have... It's classical music, right? But I'm gonna include them. But, like, every song that has actual lyrics after that in any other movie. Dumbo's soundtrack is pretty garbage. Number 33 is The Rescuers. The Rescuers, we talked about with the Down Under. This is such, like, nostalgia. Like, watching this over again was like, wow, this is... My sister showed me this film. My sister showed me, like, everything Disney. Like, we had so many VHS tapes of Disney. And she's like, oh, this movie right here, this movie's dope. Let's watch this one. And we watched it, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. This movie's sick. My love of Disney is probably because of my sister. A lot of my loves for a lot of things is because of my big sister. Um, yeah, that's 33. Number 32 is The Fox and the Hound. I love the tale of best friends. You know, they shouldn't get along, but they do. They're awesome. It's a great film. That was my best friend's favorite Disney movie. I don't know if it still is, but that was his favorite of all time. And the soundtrack is pretty lit too, right? And I haven't even listened to the soundtrack recently. I just know that it was like a lot more modern, and I loved what they did with it. Number 31 is Lady and the Tramp. Speaking of my sister, this is my sister's favorite film of all time. We just talked about this not too long ago. Might have been a month ago. Yeah? Maybe a month ago? 2 months? 3 months? I don't know. I record a shit ton of these videos super early in advance. I just know it's like weeks old now. Go check out my Lady and the Tramp review. I also do Lady and the Tramp 2, Scamp's Adventure. So yeah, go check those out. Number 30 is Robin Hood. Robin Hood is the most romantic Disney movie ever released. Ever. Robin Hood and Maid Marian's romance, the best. I will say also, this is probably the best furry Disney film ever released. But you haven't got to Zootopia. This is like the OG furry movie. This is the movie that turned everybody into a furry. Robin Hood can get it. Maid Marian can get it. I mean, foxes in general, you know. That's like the furry, like generic furry default. Um, Number 29 is Atlantis, The Lost Empire. You know, we talked about Treasure Planet early on. And, you know, let's take a moment of silence to reflect on how, like, probably piss poor my ranking is of that film. I forgot to mention, with Atlantis and Treasure Planet, my mom took my brother. She'd often take us, like, we play hooky. Hey, she'd wake me up. Hey, you want to go to the movies today? Oh, okay. And I'd skip school and go to the movies. There was a time you could do that. You can't do that anymore. You miss school, you miss a day of school, you pay for it. You have to show like a doctor's note that you were why you were sick and everything. And this is like, I'm not even talking because of like, you know, COVID and the pandemic and stuff. I'm talking before that even. It was like, you can't do that. My sister tried to do that with her kids, and they were like, no, you need to provide evidence. It was really fucking dumb. Anyway, Treasure Planet and Atlantis were two of the films that my mom took my brother to see, but not me. Huh? So I was like, how come you took him, but not me? And then we didn't even, and then my brother would like brag about these films, talk about how amazing they were. And I'm like, fuck those movies. And fuck you too, you little piece of shit. But Atlantis, what makes this so high on the list for me is that it is a near flawless film. It is so amazing. Just animation, story, the lore, the story, but like everything is so great. It's just that the finale, the last part, feels like someone hit the fast forward button. I don't like that. I don't like how they hit the fast forward button. Number 28 is Oliver and Company. Classic. Nostalgia. I love it. Number 27 is Sleeping Beauty. Beautiful film. Best Disney villain of all time in Maleficent. I'm actually surprised one of these. That's crazy. I'm looking at this list and I'm like, how? Because I was talking about Atlantis and I was like, wait a minute. Number 26 is Pinocchio. Came after Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Is one of my favorites of the classic era. So dark. Like, so dark. Ridiculously dark. Number 25 is Raya and the Last Dragon. I'm surprised that this went over Atlantis. Similar, it felt like an RPG where Raya is collecting party members. Like a JRPG where you're collecting party members for each map you go to. I think Raya and the Last Dragon would be a wonderful video game. Wonderful RPG. This film also felt like fast forward. It was going way too fast. But the animation is beautiful. I do love modern Disney. I'm a big defender of modern Disney. That's why I don't think Wish is that bad. It's still pretty low on my list, but like it's not that bad. Number 24 is Strange World. A lot of people, they this is gonna come up eventually, but people are like, "Go woke, go broke." Ho ho. Strange World. They say like you made a gay character, and that's why the film flopped. The film flopped because Disney was scared to market a film with a gay character in it. That's it. That's literally it. Disney can't market the film because they're scared of alienating people. It's fucking dumb. Like Disney, shut the fuck up and just release it. Just market it more. Because Strange World has a lot of great ideas in it. And I really enjoyed it. As evidenced by this list. Number 23 is Encanto. I love Encanto. It's really grown on me too a lot more. Like the more I think about it, the more I'm obsessed. I love that film so much. I love Encanto. But there's no way that it could top number 22. It's Tarzan. I don't remember seeing Tarzan as a kid. At all. I don't remember. I was like, did I see this film? And then I watched it with my wife and I was blown away. Absolutely blown away with how perfect that film is. And I was like, I don't remember seeing this film. I remember playing the games and seeing like scenes. But yeah, no. Tarzan's dope. Number 21 is Big Hero 6. Big Hero 6 over Tarzan? Are you fucking crazy? Yeah, I'm crazy for superheroes and movies. This is a Marvel adaptation. This is awesome. There's a lot of great storytelling beats in this movie. I love it. I don't know I don't know what to tell you. Number 20 is Cinderella, classic. The Disney princess movie of all Disney princess movies, potentially. Not mine. Spoiler alert for later on the list, but Cinderella's great. It's a classic. Number 19 is Meet the Robinsons. Meet the Robinsons. It's really far up on this list. Holy shit. I just realized. Yeah, going from Bolt to Meet the Robinsons. I watched Meet the Robinsons before I got with my wife. And she hadn't seen it. And I say blown away a lot. I was blown away by the ingenuity of this film. I'm kind of getting emotional a little bit now. Trying not to. But my aunt is a huge Matchbox 20 fan. You probably saw my top 90s band. You probably heard me talk about my Aunt Christy before. Little Wonders is in this film, and it was her favorite. I think it was like her favorite. Oh my god! So that's why she loved this movie. This is probably her favorite Disney movie. Like straight up. Beautiful film. Number 18 is Bolt. Bolt came after Meet the Robinsons. I feel like the 3D movies improved with each one. And my wife loved Bolt. I'm watching Bolt, and I'm like floored by how awesome this fucking film is. I remember the marketing of Meet the Robinsons and Bolt, and not caring when they first came out, and then finally watching them and being like, man, these are fucking cool, really cool, interesting concepts. With that ugly ass, butt ass, ugly 3D animation. Number 17 is The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I knew I'd love this movie as soon as I heard the music. It was one of the movies I skipped. It's back when I'm too old for Disney. And I would see scenes of it and, see the marketing, the trailers and everything. And I remember thinking, that looks fun, and I didn't watch it. And then finally watching it and realizing this movie is a masterpiece, and we won't get a movie like that probably ever again. It's incredibly dark. Like the darkest Disney movie ever made. More so than Pinocchio, more so than The Black Cauldron. Movies that had dark moments in them. This whole film is a dark moment. It opens with Frollo, Minister Frollo, about to toss baby Quasimodo down a well. Ew, this thing's ugly. Back to this. And it's like, I think what they're trying to do is play that up for laughs, but it's terrifying. Because, like, he's such a terrifying character. It's like, oh, he was legitimately like super legit. And there's religion in there. God bless the outcast. Oh, the music's so good. Number 16 is Hercules. Speaking of great music, Hercules is so good. I used to hate Hercules because I'm such a nerd for Roman mythology, Greek mythology, and I was like, man, they get so much wrong in this one. But I didn't care about Pocahontas because I really didn't think about. I don't know what was wrong with me. Hercules is great. It's a fantastic film. I love Hercules. 15 is Winnie the Pooh. 2011, Winnie the Pooh. Super high up on this list. It's one of my favorite memories of me and my brother. We went to go see Transformers, the fucking third one. I think it's the third one. And this movie, this is the funniest Winnie the Pooh movie ever made. It is. It's so funny. It's it's not like full of heart. It's full of humor, which makes my heart happy. I'm a big fan of comedy, and this has a lot of it. It's a damn good time at the movies. Number 14 is The Little Mermaid. Go check out my review on The Little Mermaid. It's a good one. Number 13 is The Emperor's New Groove. The Emperor's New Groove is one of the most unique Disney films ever released, ever made. Yeah, I mean, it a perfect film in every sense. If someone tells me their favorite movie is The Emperor's New Groove, damn good choice. Like, I think in this top 20, I think now whatever movie you say, I'm not gonna hold you on what you're picking. To be fair, if you say The Three Caballeros is your favorite, I'm not gonna hold you either. You're probably very, very old. Probably very, 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 very old. Number 12 is Brother Bear. I think this one came after. Was Little Lilo and Stitch and Treasure Planet. This came out sandwiched between Treasure Planet and Home on the Range, I believe. And Brother Bear is gonna kind of getting chills. It's a beautiful film. A lot of great moments. A lot of great moments. Let me see. I'm going up right now. Don't rush me. Yes, it's sandwiched between Treasure Planet and Home on the Range, 2003. Beautiful film. Number 11 is Mulan. Mulan's dope. so great. Highest kill count of any Disney princess, or probably any Disney character, honestly. Um, the soundtrack is god tier. I love Mulan. There's not so much else I can say about it. We have arrived to our top 10, and I'm shocked. Number 10 is Frozen 2. I really liked Frozen 2. I really thought it was a great sequel, and it improved a lot on the first one. It was just I think I was just like not expecting a lot because the first movie wasn't. But I loved seeing the characters grow and just. I'm so shocked that it's so high up. Wow. Number 10? Number 9 is Aladdin. For the longest time, Aladdin was my favorite Disney movie of all time. Came out my birth year, 1992. Robin Williams, rest in peace. Genie, it's perfect. Top to bottom, flawless film. I love it. Disney Renaissance was so otherworldly, dude. Number 8's Lilo and Stitch. A year, right? A year after Atlantis and a year before Treasure Planet came Lilo and Stitch. And like, Atlantis and Treasure Planet, just amazing films. Lilo and Stitch was amazing for its own personal thing, its own identity. Atlantis is about the legend of Atlantis. It's an original story based around that legend. Treasure Planet is based on Treasure Island. They just redid it to be a planetary thing, a space thing, instead of a pirate thing. Lilo and Stitch is a completely wholeheartedly original film from the amazing people at Disney, and it's just so good. It's just so good. That's another one that gets me emotional. A lot of these that I'm going up are making me more emotional the more I'm talking about them. Number 7 is The Princess and the Frog. I love that we finally got our first black princess. We're talking about a time where black people were frowned upon, like the time period, the time setting. Um, this film got a lot of hate for no reason. You a black princess? It's like, what the fuck? It's weird. It's very weird. I just think it's weird. I don't like how they're frogs for most of the movie. And then I finally watched the film and I was absolutely 100% devastated, like just in tears. And Dr. Facilier is a great villain. We haven't had a villain, I don't think, match him. Maybe Mother Gothel. Um, yeah, Mother Gothel's cool. Um, yeah, anyway, Princess of the Frog is beautiful. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it for whatever reason, whatever your prejudice may be. Number 6 is Wreck It Ralph. We talked about Wreck It Ralph. Best $40 ever spent. We went to the theaters, and I paid for my ticket and my brother and his then girlfriend, and it totaled up to like 40 something and some change or whatever. I bought their food too, so it might have been with the food as well. But even still, they were like, "Are you sure about this?" And then we sat down, we watched it, and they were like, we were all like, just video games in general getting the love. Like seeing Sonic the Hedgehog and Kano from Mortal Kombat. He should have had the Australian accent. M. Bison, Bowser, Ryu and Ken. Like, oh my god. Just seeing all these characters pop up. Pac Man, hearing about Mario. There's so much. Wreck-It Ralph's great. We've been talking for a while now. I've been talking for a while now. You guys have been listening to me. If you're still watching, thank you so much. This is an hour long. I know some of these videos are like, some of these ranking videos are like 4 hours long. I just really appreciate anyone that takes the time to listen to me yap and ramble, babble. We are at our top 5. Everybody, number 5 is Tangled. I remember when Tangled was announced. This is after Princess. This is after Princess and the Frog? Before Princess and the Frog. Hold on. No, yeah. Princess and the Frog came out after the last string of 3D movies. 2010 was the 50th film of Disney's, to celebrate 50 years of Disney. And no, it's their 50th film. That's it. It's their 50th film, and what better way to top that off, to start that off, than having a new 3D film animated differently and beautifully and spectacularly. We talked about Mother Gothel. We talked about the beautiful animation. The soundtrack's great. Mandy Moore is so awesome as Rapunzel. It's a beautiful film, and I remember seeing all the quirky, zany marketing and being like, this looks garbage. This looks stupid. And then hearing "When Will My Life Begin" on Pandora, it was very flat. I think I need to hydrate. I've definitely been talking for way too long. It's yeah, that's my excuse. Hearing "When Will My Life Begin" was like, oh my god. And then hearing "And at Last I See the Light," I was like, oh my god. I have to watch this film. And I finally watched it and was like, I'm in love. I am in love with this film. This is beautiful. I'm pissed that I haven't seen it. I'm pissed that I haven't seen it before. Why did I judge it so harshly? It's a beautiful film. Speaking of beautiful films, number 4 is Beauty and the Beast. My favorite Disney princess film for a while. For a long time. Classic Disney princess film. I love the story so much. We gotta wrap it up. We're in our top 3. Number 3 is Zootopia. Speaking of animals, hey, yeah, I've been talking about Zootopia a lot. Tangled came out, and I remember being like, I don't think anything can top Tangled, Wreck-It Ralph, I really, really liked, right? And look, it's under Tangled. Wreck It Ralph is right under Tangled. So I couldn't see anything top it. Frozen, was a missed opportunity. Big Hero 6. We get to Zootopia, and I remember the marketing and everything. I'm being like, I'll give it a try. I'll watch it. And I watched a little bit of a bootleg, but no, it wasn't a bootleg version. We went to go see it in theaters. We had someone watch our baby girl, our daughter, and we went to go see it. And I love it. I'm gonna quote my daughter on this. I did not like it. I loved it. This is her favorite film, and for very good reason. She's an animal turner. She loves animals, and Zootopia is just so good. There's so much to love about it. The next year, no, it's not the next year. It's later on that year. November 23rd, 2016 was Moana. And that's our number two. Moana, they're showing off the marketing, everything. I go, it looks beautiful. The water, the Lin-Manuel Miranda. I don't know who this guy is, but I'm sure that, he might make some good. It sounds like some good music. And then I watched it, and immediately it hit me here. I'm just like, wow, this is a beautiful film. This is very, very beautiful. Lin-Manuel Miranda is a genius. And I didn't know at the time, but people were like really pumped for that because he made, Hamilton. So all the Hamilton lovers are like, he's doing a Disney movie? And then we watch it and it's like, he kills it. He absolutely kills it. Of course, the cast and crew. Everybody else killed it as well, but it's a beautiful film. Speaking of beautiful films, number one, it's my favorite film of all time. If you saw my top 10 movies of all time, you've probably heard me reference it a lot. It's The Lion King. I legitimately think it's the best film ever made, and that's crazy because growing up, I might have mentioned this in the top 10 films of all time. But growing up, my favorite movie always changed. I think Aladdin for a while was my favorite movie, not just favorite Disney movie. But it always, things change. It always changes. And The Warriors for years was my favorite film of all time. I hadn't seen Lion King since I was a kid. It's coming out in theaters for my 19th birthday. Yeah, I'll go see it in 3D. Why not, Go out with a bunch of friends. They're like, only you would go out for your 19th birthday. I'm like, you're goddamn right. I'm gonna go see a Disney movie. And I wept openly in the theater, just crying. I wasn't sobbing. I wasn't wailing. I was just tears, man. And it's not even Mufasa's death. That made me angry. That made me legitimately angry. Because as a kid, I didn't really... I fucked with Scar. I knew he was a bad guy and he was doing bad things, but I thought he was funny. I thought he was charismatic. And then growing up and realizing, wow, he gaslit the fuck out of Simba. Dude, holy shit. He manipulated him. And then the scene that gets me really emotional, really fucks me up, is the remember who you are scene. Looking up. Look harder. You see, he lives in you. And then he's like kind of seeing his face change into Mufasa's and hearing Simba and him looking up, Father? Simba, you have forgotten me. I'm getting chills just reciting that. It's the whole back and forth. It's like, no, how could I? You've forgotten yourself, so in turn you have forgotten me. Look inside yourself. You must take your place above. How can I go back? And I'm not who I used to be. And it's like, you are the rightful king, and you are my son, and the one true king. And just, oh my God, it's like, remember who you are. You are my son, and the one true king. Remember. And he starts to go away. No, please. Father, remember. Don't leave me. Not again. Just like, oh my god, this fucking movie. Every time that happens, I'll put it on for the kids. I'm like, you know what? This is a good comfort movie. I'll put this on for the kids. I'm playing it. Dope. And and it happens. And then when it gets to that scene, I have to stop whatever I'm doing and watch it and cry. A beautiful, beautiful film. I love The Lion King. I love Disney. Let's talk about Disney. Sound off in the comments below. What's your favorite movie? How Am I an Idiot? Treasure Planet, That Far Low. The Three Caballeros, that's not that bad. Um, been yapping for an hour now. I gotta stop, drink some more water before I record 2 more videos. My wife back there screaming her ass off. You guys have a good one and take care.